All right. Welcome, everybody, to What is a Business Coach? I put together this presentation because I want everyone to avoid getting into business and getting into relationship with the wrong people. I want everyone to understand what is required, what is the expectation. I have heard the stories of people paying thousands of dollars, in some cases tens of thousands of dollars, to business coaches, brand coaches, all kinds of coaches, and getting nothing in return. Now, mind you, a business coach is not really supposed to produce hard tangibles, but they will definitely put you onto that path. As a matter of fact, they do produce tangibles, in that the path that they put you on is going to produce something, right? So let's jump in and talk about what is a business coach. And we're going over the outcomes, the experiences, and the transformations. Right. So a business coach is someone who works with individuals or teams to help them achieve their business goals, right? They come in, they get an understanding of what it is they want to achieve, and your business coach will know what path to chart to be able to get there. Now, the more seasoned your business coach, the better, because they have traveled this path for years and they know the ups and downs, the ins and outs, things to do, things not to do. And so they are better able to guide you more accurately. A business coach is also someone who provides guidance and support, and accountability. I actually have 5 A's. 5 A's. So they provide accountability, they provide advisory, they are an advocate, they are an ambassador, and they provide access. Now, I didn't put them into this presentation, but if you are curious, definitely leave me a ping in the chat. Actually, I wanted to put in the chat, so if you guys wanted to send me an email, if you have any questions, you will be able to find it in the chat. All right, so just put my email in the chat. And so if you wanted to ask me any questions, I'm probably going to move pretty quickly because there's quite a few slides and I want to get through them quickly. But if I go through any of them too quickly and you have a question, definitely feel free to shoot me an email and I will respond. So a business coach is also focused on empowering their clients, right? We're not coming in to do the work for you, but we're coming in to empower you. And help you to develop your skills and your capabilities. So a lot of people come into working with a business coach and they're brand new, they don't know a whole lot. And the idea is that over time, you will be empowered, you will learn more, and you will improve your skills and your capabilities. So these are the things you want to look out for. So before we get into the outcomes, experiences, and transformations, let's talk about some key characteristics of a business coach. One of the first things is business coaches will have an objective perspective. Okay, they're the outsider looking in. There's no bias at all whatsoever. They're supposed to be able to take all the pieces and put them together strategically and logically without feeling inclined one way or another because of any other influential circumstance. So you want a business coach who is not going to be swayed by the political climate or any other outside insights or feedback. You want them to bring their own experience and their own intelligence to coaching you properly. Another characteristic is empowerment. You should feel empowered when you're working with a coach. You don't want one who's going to make you feel down or make you feel bad or make you feel like, okay, you're doing all the wrong things. I know some coaches, let's think about personal trainers, the way they coach you is like harsh and they're like, come on, let's go. And I had one trainer call me muffin top. And I was like, oh, okay. You don't want them to disempower you. You want them to empower you. You want them to encourage you, right? So in your conversations, and I would even say, try to have a couple conversations with a coach. before you get into a relationship with them, because then you can see the dynamic. You can see how the relationship and the communication is going to grow over time. And if you feel a way like, "Oh, I don't quite like what they said," or "I don't like their tone," or "they're rushing me off the phone, they don't seem invested," you're going to catch that vibe right away and know whether or not this is a coach that you're supposed to work with. So you want them to empower you. Confidentiality is very important. I find it hard to believe that there is any coach out there who doesn't abide by confidentiality, but I had to put it in there because it's true. You want to make sure that they abide by strict confidentiality guidelines, because a lot of you, I should say some of you are in the tech space, for example, and you might be working with investors who don't want the word to get around about who and what they're investing in. So it's very important that you have your own confidentiality. They have confidentiality clauses in contracts to make sure that your intellectual property and your business is protected. And then effective communication. So like I was saying, business coaches have very strong communication skills, whether they're good or not. You want to look for the ones who can back up what they're saying, right? Effective communication, meaning that they are active listeners. It's one thing to talk a lot. Some people feel like with their words they're going to sway you, but it's through your listening, which is a superpower of mine. Not selling myself in any way, shape, or form, but listening is a superpower of mine, because the more you have a coach who actively listens to you, is the better you're going to have alignment with your vision, and the better that they can coach you, because they are listening and they're paying attention and they're taking cues from you, and they know exactly what it is that you want to achieve. So effective communication is super, super, super important, okay? You don't have to look for a coach who has, a high degree in communication, although I highly recommend it. Not me, but you can definitely look for one who has a skill in professional communication. Oh, whoops. How did this get in here? This is my degree. I don't know how that got in. Excuse me, let's just move on. So more key characteristics of a business coach is accountability. Again, this is one of my 5 A's: accountability, accountability, accountability. I've been in a mastermind group from the beginning of the year, and nothing has helped us move forward and get things done more than the accountability that comes with being in that mastermind. Because the last thing you want is to go into your weekly meetings with your mastermind or with your coach, and you have nothing to report. So there is just something that the coach instills in you that makes you feel like, I don't want to let them down. I don't want to waste their time. I want to make sure that I do the work I'm supposed to do. And so you want a coach who's going to hold you accountable. If you meet with a coach, at the end of the week and you're telling them, I didn't really get this done or that done, and they're like, "Oh, well, it's okay. I know things happen." Be very cautious about that, because how long are they going to let that go? They're going to continue to take your money, and each week it's like, "Oh, it's okay. It's great if you didn't get anything done. Oh, it's great." You don't want that. You want someone who's going to say, "Okay, that's great. You had something challenging happening this week, but let's not make it a habit, because we want to move." Okay. Your work is my reputation, and I want to be able to put out a great portfolio of work that I've done with a client. So you want someone who's going to be that serious with you, almost like a boss, right? Someone who's really going to hold you to what you're supposed to be doing. And then continuous learning. So a coach who stays on top of trends and knows a lot about your business, especially if you're in a special industry. Let's say you're in the technology industry, and you have a coach who's also in the technology industry. You want to know that you're working with someone who knows about all the trends and all the latest things in tech, so that they can advise you properly. If there are things changing because of politics or the economy, you want someone who's going to come in and say, "Okay, we're actually entering into COVID right now, and I know it's coming. So here are some shifts that you want to try to make in your business," right? So the more that your coach is on top of what's going on and what the trends are, it's the better they're able to advise you. So you definitely want to have that in your coach. You want a coach who's going to take a tailored approach, especially if you're paying them individually. So there's group coaching and then there's individual coaching. So if you're paying for individual coaching, you want to have like a custom package just for you. You don't want the program that was done for someone else, because in a lot of cases, again, you're paying thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. You want to have something that is specific to you, that's going to work for you, and not something that may or may not have worked for someone else. You know, you want your coach to do some work in that aspect. It's not just about having weekly meetings and they sit in a call with you and tell you what to do. You want a coach who's actually working and thinking about your project and thinking about, well, how can we make it better? What can we do different for this particular project so that we can make sure that it's a success? And then results oriented, right? So again, it's not just about sitting back and we have conversations every week and that's the end of my work. We want to know how we can get results. Your work, your success is my reputation. So it's very, very important that you're producing results. If you say, okay, I want to make sure that my business is up and running by the end of the second quarter, that's a result, right? Now you can come back and say, Sandra, help me get some things in place for the end of the second quarter, and now my business is up and running and it's launched. Or maybe you want to make a certain amount of sales. Now, I wouldn't depend on anybody, whether they're in sales, whether they're in marketing, PR, a business coach, or whoever. I wouldn't depend on anybody for my sales, even if I'm paying them. Why? Because they are not as invested in your business as you are. It is, sales are completely up to you. You can hire a salesperson, you can train them, say, give them this script and tell them exactly who to call, whether they're cold leads or warm leads, and they will go out and sell. Some people are very skilled, very crafty when it comes to sales, and that's great. They probably will produce some results for you. But at the end of the day, sales, getting money into the business is your responsibility. And so a business coach will come in and say, okay, here are a few resources that you can turn to in order to find your leads. And I do know a few resources, just ask me. It's all on my website anyways. I have a resources section on my website. You will see a whole sales and marketing section there, some resources you can check out. But you want your coach to say, here are some resources. Here are the kind of people you want to look for. Okay, you're selling, I don't know, ABC widgets. Look for, the director of sales at these corporations. Put together this type of pitch for them. Your business coach will work with you to tweak and tailor your pitches and things like that, so that when you go out and you're doing your sales, honestly, that's the structure of it. That's the bones of it. But when you come in and talk about your business passionately, like, I have these ABC widgets, and it's really important for people to really get on them because they help with the healthcare industry, or they help with some other industry. And when you talk passionately, that's what's going to sell. Don't leave the responsibility. Again, it sounds very crazy. You're going to hire the top salesperson in the world, but sales is on you. I'm not going to say any more about that. All right. Moving into the outcomes. What are the outcomes that you can expect working with a business coach? Well, one of the first things you can expect is financial growth, right? I mean, you're pouring money in, you're going to want to get money out. Now, I know this sounds contradictory. I'm not saying that we're going to come in and make the money for you. We're going to position you and set you up and put you on the path to be able to grow financially. So that looks like setting up the business, actually setting up the business and making sure that you have your business plan so you can go out and get funding, or go out and get a grant, or go out and get a loan. Making sure that you look good in the eyes of people who will be investing. Or, you set up your business, you have your business name, you have your website, making sure that is ready for the traffic that you're gonna get. You want to have it properly optimized for the type of client that you want to get on your website, and you want to have the words have to be optimized as well, but the message itself has to be something that speaks to your audience. So your coach is able to guide you through all of that, and the expectation through all of this is financial growth. You want to make sure that you're on the path to it. We're not just here as a business coach to help you build your brand. That's a branding coach. You look to a branding coach, which we do brand strategy consulting. You look to a branding coach to help build your brand, but a business coach is all about how to make business work. Another outcome is streamlined operations, right? One mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make is getting into the shiny bells and whistles when they are starting a business. There's all kinds of exciting applications. I know because that was me. That was me. I get very excited about the shiny bells and whistles. But I've been in the game for so long that I've really honed in on what works and what works according to my current workflow and work styles. So you're going to have a coach come in and they will be able to streamline your operation so that you're saving time, you're very productive, you're not spending a whole lot of money on things that you don't need and you're not going to use, and everything is very, very efficient. Very efficient. You want to be able to streamline your operations because this is going to help to reduce your costs and increase your profits. The next thing is an expanded network. So I don't think a lot of coaches talk about this. I mean, it's not something that I hear as a buzzword in the coaching industry. Mind you, I've been in business for 19 years, but I have not been a coach for that long. And so having an expanded network, working with someone, even people who work with mentors, the expectation is that you can connect me to people, right? You can help me expand my network. Let's say I need engineers who I can turn to when I'm building my ABC widgets, or I need marketing people or PR people, or I need finance people or recruiting people. You want someone to help to build your network. And so your business coach is going to be someone who is quite connected and able to say, oh, okay, so you need someone who can help you walk through the process of, I don't know, creating your legal contracts. Okay, well, here's 3 lawyers that I've worked with in the past. You can have interviews with all of them, et cetera, et cetera. So making sure that your business coach is someone who's connected. Of course, it's hard for a business coach to say who all their connections are, but someone who is able to get you connected so that you can collaborate with others and work with others to build your business. Another outcome is enhanced leadership skills. So being mentored by a coach is going to be an example to you of the leadership that you want to exhibit to your team or to anyone that you're working with, right? So you're going to notice in yourself, if you're working with the right type of coach, that as you grow as an entrepreneur and you're working with different teams, that your leadership skills are way more sharpened because you're learning firsthand how to manage with teams, how to be a leader, how to be a servant leader, which is very important. You're going to learn about how to kind of read the room when it comes to your team, how to communicate with them effectively. Like, these things are going to be super, super important when it comes to managing a team, because you want a team that's going to stick around and do the work that you need them to do, right? So another outcome is enhanced leadership skills. Improved decision making. So when you first start working with a coach, you might find it difficult to decide on things. I don't know if should I do this? Should I do that? Should I buy this thing? Should I start building this kind of plan? And then as time goes along, you're going to realize that you're better able to make decisions, right? Because you're learning from a coach who's showing you the ropes. As you're working through different projects and initiatives with them, things might come up where they're like, okay, I saw that you did that, but next time don't do that, or next time try this, or do this instead. Before you go into that meeting, make sure you do cover these 3 points, and et cetera, et cetera. And what you're going to find is, as you go, certain things that you used to hear your coach say, you don't hear them say so much anymore because you're learning to make decisions on your own. The next one is effective time management. And this kind of loops into streamlined operations as well, because sometimes it's through our operations, through our effective, streamlined operations, that we're able to save time and manage our time better. So you might come to your coach and say, you know what, I'm going to spend this weekend just pouring into my business plan and, making sure the financials are right. And your coach, a coach like me, might say, well, Are you going for funding, or are you just trying to get direction in your business? And if you are not going for funding, a coach like me would say, do not spend hours on a business plan, thus saving you hours of time. So there might be things where you are getting ready to pour into a certain bit of work that you think you're going to spend hours. Before you do that, talk to your coach. Say, you know what, I'm about to go work on this presentation. I think it's going to take me hours. And your coach is going to say, what are you talking about? Hop onto ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to write that presentation, and then go talk to your virtual assistant and get them to put that onto a branded deck, right? So a coach will tell you different techniques and things like that to save your time. Now, the next one is increased productivity. With streamlined operations and effective time management, you can expect increased productivity. The goal is not to work yourself into a hole. As an entrepreneur, the goal is to get your money to work for you, get your business to work for you, so that you can be freed up to do the visionary things, right? A lot of us as entrepreneurs, we get into business and we are working so hard in that business, right? We're doing the marketing, we're doing the HR, we're doing the finance, we're doing the actual selling and the visionary. And it's hard to do it all. Whereas if I'm running things effectively, then and productively, then I can be a visionary. Now I have more ideas. I have space in my brain for more ideas to come in. I can effectively delegate things to my team to carry out those ideas, and we can continue to be productive as a team together. So another outcome that you're going to see with a business coach is increased productivity. And then you have enhanced customer relationships. So customer service, customer relationships are, instead of service, I'm going to say customer relationships. Let's just stick to the script here. Customer relationships are what will make or break you. Whether or not the customer is right, that relationship can make or break you, because you treat, even when things go wrong, how you handle the way that relationship runs is going to dictate how you are viewed in the eyes of that customer, and it's going to dictate the reviews that they give and what they tell their people and their network about you, because things can and will go wrong. But when you have good, strong relationships with your customer, so you might do things like, you're checking in on them regularly, you're communicating with them, you're sharing insights with them, you're, let's say you do something, you fix their ABC widget, and you remember that, okay, there's supposed to be an upgrade for this widget, and you call them and say, hey, you know what, there's an upgrade, I'm not going to charge you because, we just caught that. But going forward, the updates they're gonna really, really appreciate that. And so you're gonna learn some techniques for building and maintaining your customer relationships, and it's going to lead to increased customer satisfaction and loyalty. I wanted to remember to say that. Loyalty. Now, I believe that loyalty comes with, when you're building a brand, loyalty comes through the service that you give, but it's also through the consistency of your brand, the communication of your brand. All of that feeds into that. And I believe branding does a whole lot to help build loyalty. So be very attuned to your customer relationships, because they can make or break you. The next one is innovative marketing strategies. So your business coach will be instrumental in helping with that. So I would consider myself a general business coach. My background is in marketing. That's the overarching umbrella. I've studied communications and PR, but over my 19 years of business, I've done everything under the marketing sun. There's not a marketing thing that I have not done. And so you want someone, again, not selling myself in any way, shape, or form, but you want your business coach to be as knowledgeable, if not more, to be able to guide in the marketing strategies as well. You want them to give you the most innovative, hot topic, trending type of marketing strategies, because you want to be ahead of the curve. You want to be ahead of your competitors. So, having those insights in terms of here's what marketing is really working, the type of marketing that's really working, Or they might say, here's a type of marketing that hasn't been done, but we know from research that these tactics are the most effective in getting your audience to click or buy or register, sign up, whatever the case is. So your coach, one of your outcomes is going to be that you have innovative marketing strategies. And then this last outcome is personal fulfillment. How great it's going to feel. The outcome when you come to the end, let's say your coaching program is 6 months and you come to the end of it, you are going to feel fulfilled. You're going to have that satisfaction. You would have achieved a certain amount of success. You would have overcome some challenges. Things may not always be easy breezy with you and your coach, but you would have overcome some things and come to a point where you feel like, you know what, I've accomplished. Look at, we've got the business name registered, we've got the store open, we've got the website, we have traffic coming in, and we're serving, things are automated, and things are, I'm making money in my sleep, right? So that sense of personal fulfillment is one of the biggest outcomes that you are going to enjoy. Now let's talk about experiences. I just want to make sure I'm not going too long. Let's talk about experiences. So one of the experiences that you can expect is tailored guidance. Again, you do not want the premium package that the coach sold to the last guy to be the package that you get. You want something that is custom to you. Now, of course, there might be a framework, right? You come in and you say, I'm starting a business, I have nothing. Okay, so there's a framework of register your business, get your business plan done, get your mission, vision, all of that together. Make sure you have a website, make sure you're branding, right? There's going to be a framework, but you're going to want some things tailored specifically to you. For example, we all have different work styles. Some people can work for hours at a time and not move from their desk. Whereas others, they can work in 20-minute spurts. Okay, so if I can work in a 20-minute spurt, my business coach needs to know that, number one. Number two, what work am I doing in those times, right? Your business coach can help you to put that together. So one of the experiences that you will have is tailored guidance for your specific business. A supportive environment. So remember, I was talking about business coaching and individual coaching. If you're in a business coaching group, a group coaching scenario, then having that support is it's such a great feeling. I got into so it's funny, I'm in a mastermind this year. I'm also in a group coaching program. And honestly, I don't know if I can go to individual coaching. I feel like I really love working as part of a group because you get that feedback. There are people sharing similar stories to yours. You never feel isolated or like you're the only one going through what you're going through. And so being part of an environment where there are others who are on the same page as you, going through the same things, is very, very helpful. And having that support is very much needed, because you're going to have some days where you feel like, well, no one can relate to me, when truthfully there are other members in your group coaching program that are going through, and you guys can come together and talk it out, pray about it, and get back on the same page and get your minds back on track so that you can continue doing what you're doing. So I'm pretty new in developing my programs. I know I want to do a group coaching, but again, I'm researching that to make sure that it's going to be the most effective program. But it's something that you are going to want to look into as well. A lot of times individual coaching does cost more than group coaching. So you might look into a group coaching program for yourself. So I just got to take a quick sip. All right. Now we're doing continuous learning. We spoke about this before. When I spoke about continuous learning before, I was talking about your business coach should be the one who is always learning. Just because you've been in business for 40 years doesn't mean you sit back and you don't have to learn anymore. in that case, they would be bringing these archaic, back in the day ideas to you. That's one thing. But you also, as the entrepreneur, one of the things that you want to experience is continuous learning. So your coach might have courses, they might have ebooks, they might point you to webinars of their own or another coach or another company, because they want to make sure that you are on top of all the information. And they would be really good. Business coaches are really good at connecting you with the right resources, right? They're not just sending you things to sending you things. You might have a conversation one week and say, you know what, I'm really struggling with figuring out, how to hire a CFO for my business. And then your business coach sees, the bank is actually launching a whole series on hiring a CFO. And so your coach would share that with you. And so you want to make sure that one of the experiences that you will have is continuous learning, right? You want to, like, every week, there's information everywhere. You can't beat it off with a stick if you wanted to. Okay, so there's information everywhere. There's no reason why your coach wouldn't be able to send you, okay, maybe not every week, but very frequently. In a month, expect a few learning resources from your coach. Inspiring community. Again, when you are around other members of your business coaching program, your group coaching program, you should be inspired. So in my mastermind, we share a lot about the things that we want to do each week, the things that we want to work on, the things that we want to achieve by the end of the quarter. And some people might sit and just work on it and do it on their own. But in our program, everybody contributes. And it's like sometimes your brain can't think of everything. And so it really helps to have other people in your community who are going to say, well, have you thought about doing this? Why don't you go onto this website? Because, they're talking about new developments for ABC widgets, right? And suddenly you're inspired. You need to be inspired. As an entrepreneur, you need to be inspired on a regular basis, because it's what's going to keep you moving forward. It's what's going to keep you getting out of bed, right? And so being in a group coaching program is helpful for that. If not, then you're getting it from your coach, right? Your coach is the one inspiring you and keeping you in this frame of mind, like anything is possible. I can go after anything. I can achieve anything. As a matter of fact, I'm inspired to build a time machine. That's how your coach should make you feel. So what your experience is that you're going to be in an inspiring community. And there's that word accountability again. I guess it's something that just can't be stressed enough, right? Again, the analogy of the business coach is just like, oh, it's okay if you didn't get to do the assignments for this week, that's totally fine. No, actually it's not. Because we're trying to produce results. Results-oriented is, again, one of the characteristics of the coach. And so accountability is a big part of that. I'm not holding you accountable. You're not producing results. My reputation is garbage, right? So accountability, your coach is going to hold you accountable for taking action on your goals and objectives, right? And giving you the motivation to do so as well. When you feel tired, your coach might say, okay, you're tired, let's take the day off. Like me, for example, the past few weeks, I've been working every day until late. But after this presentation, I'm calling it a night and I'm going to go read a book and relax. But your coach might say something like that to you. Okay, you're tired today, rest, let's come back and hit it tomorrow, right? They're going to motivate you. So you want someone who's going to hold you accountable and keep you on track with the things that you're supposed to be doing according to the timeline as well, right? Don't forget that you want to set a timeline and deadline for things. And so your coach keeps you moving towards that throughout your program. And then there are networking opportunities. So different from expanding your network, your coach, like we said in the outcomes, you're going to have an expanded network. One of your experiences is going to be networking opportunities. So if your coach is not bringing you themselves, they're sending you the opportunities, because the chances are they get lots of invitations to things. Maybe they can go, maybe they can't. but they want to bring you in and make sure that you're meeting the right people for the things that you want to achieve. So expect to experience quite a few networking opportunities with your coach. And then there's feedback and reflection. So that has to be a regular thing, right? We're not just going to be about go, go, go for week 1 down, week 2 down, week 3 down. Let's keep going. Let's actually stop this week, week 4, and let's sit back and reflect on, okay, how did the first week go? How did the second week go? What can be done differently? How would you move forward based on this feedback, right? Reflecting on, and reflection is so important because it helps you to see the progress. The last thing you want to do is be moving forward, and nothing is being done, right? You want to make sure that you are making progress in every way that you can. And so reflecting gives you an opportunity to do that and say, you know what, in that first week, I actually did create that sales presentation, and I actually did create a list of 1,000 new leads, and I actually did create a script for calling these new prospects, right? You want to look back and say, you know what, I've gotten some things done, right? Because that's what makes it all worth it, for you to look back and say, okay, I'm making progress. We're doing some things here. So feedback and reflection is definitely one of the experiences of working with a coach. I know it's getting kind of dark around here. Celebrating milestones. Of course, you're going to experience celebrating milestones. This is, when it comes to what is a business coach, the reason why I say that one of my A's is being an ambassador is because you want someone who's going to champion you and celebrate you. And so these are one of the things that you're definitely going to witness is celebrating milestones, right? If you're an entrepreneur like me and you have a family that doesn't quite understand entrepreneurship, there's going to be a day where you go home and say, oh my gosh, I was nominated for XYZ award. It may be big, it may be small, but your family doesn't understand it. And what do they say? Oh yeah, is that going to make any money? If they don't know about it, they don't care about it. But your coach is going to be the one to say, that is outstanding. That's amazing. Let's go out for a celebratory dinner. There's someone who's going to be in your corner, your partner, who understands the vision with you, understands the things that need to be achieved for this to be worth it. And when those achievements come through, man, your coach is going to be cheering for you loudly and proudly. So that's an experience you can definitely look forward to. And then you have overcoming challenges. So again, you have a partner with you, you have a visionary with you. You're going to come up upon some challenges, and thankfully, you're going to have your coach who's going to be with you to be able to say, here are some ways that you can overcome this challenge. As a coach, I'm probably going to do this, but I'm going to try not to give very specific things to do because it's different for everybody, right? So you might have a certain challenge and I might say, oh yeah, well, you should do this. That's one thing if it's a simple thing, but some things you really got to sit and think, okay, well, what outcomes do I want? If I go in this direction, this is the outcome. If I go in that direction, that's the outcome. And so as you come through these challenges, you're going to be able to overcome them, because going back to what we said about decision making, you're going to become better at decision making, which means you're going to become better at overcoming challenges. And then building confidence, right? So you're becoming better at decision making. You're becoming better at overcoming challenges. And the more you do that, it's like you're working a muscle, right? And so you just become more confident, not cocky, but confident in your abilities. You become more confident in, making decisions, going through certain hurdles, going through certain challenges. You're going to feel like you are empowered, right? You're going to feel more confident because as you go through things and you're making decisions and you're making mistakes and you're coming back from these mistakes, you're going to feel like, wow, like I can go through these things and be okay. And you're going to feel confident in that, you know what, every time I put 2 + 2 together, it equals 4. Every time I say 1 + 1, it equals 2. right? And that's going to help build up confidence. Okay? Now we are at the final stage talking about some of the transformations. So one of the transformations is going to be a mindset shift. You might have come into this program feeling one way, like, there's a whole lot to do, there's a whole lot to achieve, and I don't know if I can. But let you have gone through some challenges, let you have gone through some decision making, and suddenly your mind shifts, and you're like, you know what? I've done it, and I can do it, and I will do it. And now you see a different person in yourself, like, I can do certain things. I don't have to be shy. I don't have to worry. I'm actually a lot more empowered than I think I am. Right. So you're gonna see a significant shift in your mindset, and you become a more confident, visionary leader. Remember, we spoke about leadership and how that's going to be one of the outcomes is that you grow in your leadership skills. And with that comes the mindset shift. Like you might have thought, well, I can't lead a group of people to do this and that. Yes, actually you can. And you're going to feel great about doing that. That's the best thing, the way you're going to feel about that. Then there's your entrepreneurial spirit, right? So you're going to cultivate a strong entrepreneurial spirit. You're going to start to think like an entrepreneur and move like an entrepreneur and a business person, and take risks and be innovative and do these things that before, when you came into the program, you were like, I don't know, but now you're like, actually, let's get 2,000 of those and move on it quickly, and let's get another 1,000 of these and have them backed up. Like that spirit that just has you moving and doing things, it's going to build and grow inside of you. Another transformation is strategic thinking. So you're not just thinking all over the place and not being very strategic. As a matter of fact, you are going to become very, very strategic. Suddenly, you're about to make a decision to do something, and you're like, no, wait. If we want to attract this audience, let's position ourselves here to be able to meet them, and then let's have the messaging tweaked just a little bit to capture, the attention of those who think certain things. Like the strategy is just going to come out of you. You're not going to be able to help it, right? This is one of the ways that you're going to be transformed, right? You're going to become a better strategic thinker. And then there's resilience. So I love this image of the flower coming through the concrete. And I learned about this concept of concrete roses, actually working with a former client. And the way he broke it down, the idea of a flower growing through concrete, right? Now we know it's not coming from the concrete. There's actually dirt under the concrete that it's coming from. But for it to push through the dirt, coming through dirt is hard enough. But to come through this hard concrete, it's a whole resilience effect. Okay, it means you're overcoming obstacles, right? There's the obstacle of the dirt, which of course it's hard and it's matted, and then there's the obstacle of the concrete. And so when you see an image like this, immediately you should feel the transformation. Like, you know what, I might be going through some hard things right now as an entrepreneur, but through my resilience, as I grow as a resilient entrepreneur, I'm going to be able to come through these things with resilience, with more resilience. And then there's adaptability. So this is a big one. This is a big one because things change. I know I gave the example of COVID before. Things can change at the drop of a dime. 1 minute you're minding your business. Next minute, there's a complete world lockdown. You can't travel anywhere. Stay in your houses. Don't even go to the grocery store. The next minute, there's AI everywhere. People are losing their jobs. All kinds of things are happening. But one of the transformations from working with a business coach is going to be your ability to adapt to changes. right? Sometimes you might anticipate, because you're growing as an entrepreneur and you're changing your mindset and things like that, you're going to be able to anticipate certain changes as you keep your mind to the ground. Remember that continuous learning. Remember, your coach is continuing to feed you information, feed you news and things that might impact your business. So the more you're exposed to these things, is the more you're going to be able to use your strategic thinking and make better decisions about how to move and operate in your business. And so you will be very highly adaptable. You're going to be able to capitalize on opportunities. You're going to be able to pivot, move to the changing market conditions. You're going to be such a savvy entrepreneur, you won't believe it. But working outside of a business coach, I mean, I won't say everyone needs one. But again, you have someone who's in your corner, a partner who understands the vision, and someone who is going to continuously feed you information so that you can move and adapt as needed to keep your business afloat. All right, and the next one is empowered leadership. So we were talking about leadership skills before. This is about a transformation, right? This is a transformation as an empowered leader. So your business coach will teach you effective leadership strategies, right? Different ways that you can lead your team. Maybe your team is not feeling up to the challenge. You have a whole sales team and they feel a certain way. Your business coach can tell you what to talk to them, what to say to them. Maybe you need to take them on an outing. Maybe you need to have one-on-ones, performance reviews with all of them to see where they're feeling a sense of discouragement, and then because you're developing your leadership skills, you will be able to train them and mentor them and empower them to do the job they were hired to do. I know it's getting dark, but you're not supposed to be watching me. You're supposed to be watching the presentation. All right, the next one is lifelong learning. So your relationship with your business coach might be, 6 months, a year, a few years, or forever. The idea is for you to always be learning, right? You become a lifelong learner. This is one of your transformations. You're always going to be learning something, whether it's a new book that you're picking up or news articles that you're reading, or you're going to masterminds of your own, or you're joining other coaching programs. Maybe you want a coaching program specific for your industry. Lifelong learning is definitely going to be one of the transformations, because you're going to see firsthand what learning is doing for you and your business. And so you're always going to want to be in the midst of where the education is, where the news is, the information and the trends. And so working with a coach, it ignites that passion, right? You're gonna want to keep learning. It's because it's going to help you tremendously in your business. The next transformation is financial independence. So with financial growth comes financial independence. You're going to be, provided with a bunch of resources based on what you're getting through your coaching. And these resources are going to fill everything that you're doing and feed everything that you're doing, thus producing financial growth and financial independence, right? That freedom that comes with it. Again, I'm not saying that we're going to come in and make the sales for you, but we're going to put you on the path, the best and most strategic, to be able to achieve the financial goals that you want to achieve and come to a place of financial independence. And then making an impactful contribution. So not only are you thriving as a business, but you are making an impactful contribution to your community, to your industry, even your family, right? Your network, right? You're going to see how your impact is impacting others, and it's going to be so amazing to experience, right? Imagine you own a business, you have your ABC widgets, And these widgets are now helping to feed families. They're helping to serve communities. This is one of the big experiences that it puts a big smile on my face, because the feeling that's going to come with that, nothing can compare. It's going to be even greater than the financial independence and the financial growth. And then finally, personal growth. So we're here at the end of the journey, and you've gone through all these experiences and outcomes and these transformations. And you're going to see a whole new you when you look in the mirror. When you get to the point where you are experiencing that financial independence, financial growth, you're a strategic thinker, you're a better leader, your operations are streamlined, you're way more productive, you're adaptable and agile and moving, you're going to look in the mirror one day and see a completely different person. That right there is personal growth. You're going to be like, wow, I used to be the entrepreneur that was, scrounging and didn't know what to do and this and that, but then realized like, wow, I've really become savvy. I've really become a better decision maker. And a lot of my skills have improved, and I'm learning so much. I'm always learning and taking in new information. These are all things that contribute to your personal growth, and you should expect to see them when you are working with a coach. I'm going to read this last part. It says, above all, the journey of receiving business coaching will lead to profound personal growth, transforming you into a more resilient, confident, and fulfilled individual, both professionally and personally. And with that, we are done, ladies and gentlemen. We have gotten through what is a business coach, the outcomes, the experiences, and the transformations. I thank you so much for watching this broadcast. If you want to find me and learn more about my services, you might have noticed I don't have a hard sell at the end of this webinar, because I really want you to have the information. I want you to have this deck. I'm going to share, if you're on my email list, go on to sandragabriel.com and you'll see there's an area there to join my email list. Get on there. I'm going to be sharing this presentation probably by the morning. And I want you to have it so that when you go and you're interviewing with coaches and you're talking to them and you're asking questions, say, what's your policy on strategic thinking? They may not have an answer for that, but you want to hear them say something that lets you know that this is going to be one of the transformations coming out of your work with them. So visit me on sandragabriel.com. Sign up for my email list, and I will send you this recording afterwards. Also, you can send me an email. I know I said I was going to be moving through this pretty quickly. We actually got through it in under an hour, so that's good. But if you have any questions on any of it, please send me an email to hello@sandragabriel.com. And I would love, I'm not doing a hard sell, but if you would follow me or subscribe on my YouTube, my handles are there. It's one or the other. I am Sandra Gabriel or Sandra Gabriel. I think the only one that's Sandra Gabriel is is it my Facebook? No, Sandra Gabriel is my YouTube channel. So look for me on those platforms, and I would love if you could follow and subscribe on YouTube. And if you are subscribed on my website, then you will be notified when I have another webinar coming out. I'm doing a free giveaway at the beginning of April. I'm very excited about it. So if you are subscribed, you will learn about that, but you'll also see it on my social media channels. And at that time, I will be doing another webinar at the end of the month to talk about this free giveaway and help you all to navigate it. All right. That's it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you in the next webinar.